Minimize this, and we are ready to rock and roll. Alrighty, everybody. Well, good evening. It is Saturday, November 25th, 7 p.m. tonight. We're doing like kind of a return to the Wxcenter live stream tonight. And it'll be our first, I guess you could say, post-tropics topic, because we're not going to talk anything tropics. There's nothing out there. So I figured we'll go ahead and bring that up sooner than later, as opposed to waiting until we completely exit the hurricane season, because there's just nothing out there right now. And there isn't going to be until sometime next year. Next year we'll actually see something pop back up. Also want to take this evening to start discussing exactly what this channel is going to look like going forward, because I do think we're going to have to really change up to keep what it is that we're doing. So we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of time, see if anybody joins us this evening. We don't have too much to talk about. We have another area of low pressure beginning to spin up in the Gulf of Mexico. Can kind of see it here on the infrared satellite. Right in through there, it's going to start to get a little bit more thunderstorm and rainfall activity as we go over the next couple of days. Or actually, I should say the next 24 hours, because by the time we get into late tomorrow and into Monday, that's when a lot of that precip swath is going to transition across the Gulf of Mexico into the panhandle of Florida, the Gulf Coast states, and then maybe trickle in across the northern periphery of Central Florida before exiting up the mid-Atlantic coastline. So, all in all, we're looking at a very quiet weather pattern, at least for a little bit longer. Then we're going to have something very similar to what this is doing out there in the Midwest, Front Range of the Rockies, coming across and really blowing up as it moves through the plains towards the Mid-Atlantic states, the Great Lakes and the Northeast. I always want to say that. I always, for some reason, say Gulf/Great Lakes. But yeah, that's all we're really looking at right now. The tropics are very quiet. Tropics are going to stay quiet. I noticed before splitting for my little travel across most of Central Florida, people were mentioning Invest 90L. And I actually came across a couple of clickbait videos, how they would like superimpose the Caribbean and then put a giant screenshot of 90L like this, to make it seem like it was in the Caribbean, and I thought that was really silly. I thought it was really goofy. 90L is no more. 90L is gone. It's at a 0% chance, and that's going to be it. I will honestly be very upset if an NHC highlights anything else out there, at least in the Atlantic. In the Pacific, you can kind of see that there's still a little bit of activity. We have 1 right there, 2, 3, and then we have this is an actual tropical storm out there, if I'm not mistaken, in the Eastern Pacific. So there's that. But in terms of the Atlantic hurricane season, we are dead and we are quiet. So that's why tonight is going to officially commence our post-tropics topics. Yeah, how close are we? I agree. And you can tell, too. I mean, granted, this is definitely off the cuff. I'm sure a lot of people aren't expecting this. I wasn't even anticipating doing a live stream. I thought maybe I would do a video today, but truthfully, I didn't have the energy for it. And I figured a live stream would be a lot more low-key and a lot more mellow, a very casual forum. But yeah, no, you can tell even in just the chat right now, like a lot of people have completely tuned out. A lot of folks have come and gone, and that's why I think this channel is really going to change up, and I can already feel it internally. I know that sounds very bizarre, but I can feel it internally. Like, we're just not going to have the same energy on this channel anymore, at least until next hurricane season. Next hurricane season, we're going to once again build that momentum up, and things are going to get crazy, because I know next year's going to be a crazy season. I already know it. Miss Leah, I'm not sure if you're in the chat anymore. Brooke, I'm not sure if you're in the chat anymore. We started up, and that's prior to. But how close are we? Ethan's Life and Dark Earth. Thank you very much, hun, for joining us tonight. I appreciate you. So, we'll go real briefly, because I know some folks might tune into this after it's all said and done. This is essentially what we're watching right now. This is our 18Z GFS, and as soon as you take it out a couple hours in time, this is 18Z tomorrow. That's going to be our next weather player, our next little low-rider that's going to come across Florida, increase our rain chances, storm coverage, maybe an isolated threat for some sporadic lightning strikes, some elevated winds. Nothing too crazy. It's this down the road that I'm watching for over the Great Plains. That's kind of the title of this video. You see that right there? Big system. Big system highlighted by both the European model and the GFS right here. That's going to be another possible severe weather outbreak. And that's going to be the main thing we want to talk about over the next couple days. This is going to be this upcoming Friday as we turn the calendar into December 1st. And that's kind of what we've been highlighting for a little bit. Very, very substantial return flow out of here. You can see the Bermuda high situated just to the extreme right-hand side of the chart. And that's exactly what's going to help this low really blow up and create a lot of severe thunderstorms along its leading edge. Textbook, like what we saw not too long ago out there. If you switch over to the 850 millibar winds, you can see it plain as day. There you go. Very strong low-level jet. And that's going to be a crazy one. That's going to be a big one. So that's kind of what we're watching here in the near-distant future. Other than that, nothing else is really going on. In fact, what Mother Nature has really here, you can see the same thing on the Euro model. There it is right there. Same time, Friday, December 1st. Blowing up, and then we get a little bit of stuff down here, but a lot of it seems to want to propagate through the plains and up to the northeast and kind of dodge Florida for all intents and purposes, which is, I guess, a good thing for us, but at the same time kind of bad, because there were a lot of folks who were, I guess you could say, I'm not going to use the H word, I'll say ramping up how much of a struggle this winter time was going to be. And so far, we haven't really seen anything since October. October was the one and done, sort of, so to speak, as of right now. And then there you have there's a textbook Alberta Clipper right here. Alberta Clipper systems moving through Canada, moving due east through the through the Canadian provinces up to the Great Lakes, merging with the next nor'easter system that's here, and then continuing across. So, not a lot to talk about in the weather sphere, and that's honestly why I think, guys, we're going to go down to 2 serious segments throughout the week. Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be actual full-fledged videos. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to do these live streams. Just because, as trashy as it might sound coming from me, I know it might sound lazy, but I just don't see the desire and the need to make video covering the same thing when not a whole lot is changing and there's very little people talking. Like you were saying earlier, how close are we? It's kind of a bummer because you can kind of look at it as, no, I'm not even going to say that. I'm not even going to say that. But anyways, it's true. Like a lot of folks, they tune in for the tropical information, and I think that's also because it's usually us YouTube folk and social media who are putting that much energy into it. Whereas if you look on mainstream media, television networks, news stations in your local area, they usually only give you the tropical update that's all of like 3 minutes, and then they bounce out of it. And so I think that's why there's so many folks, especially in areas who don't have news and outlets like we do in the Caribbean, Central America, all that fun jazz, Bermuda, the Bahamas. And now that it's over, no one really, it's going to sound rough, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but no one cares. No one really cares right now. This is truly the slow season of, Mother Nature, technically. And that's kind of why on the Weather Center here, we're going to go into slow season. And 2 full segments a week and 3 live streams a week. I may even do, whatchamacallit, we might even do no video on Saturday. Today I figured I would go ahead and do it since I never made it to make a video yesterday. So this is kind of backfilling yesterday's video and our usual live stream from yesterday. I'm coming home from Orlando after watching the Orlando Philharmonic. Oh, very good. Not looking forward to Wednesday. Yeah, it's going to be cold upcoming on Wednesday. I'm back in town here in Tampa. Oh, very good, very good. Glad you made it back. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Darnell. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. What does a snowstorm need to get a name? It's kind of, I'm pretty sure it's just time of year. Like time of year, we go into like snow or winter storm season, and we start to track these major nor'easter systems. Like, technically speaking, this would probably get a name if it were that time of year. That would definitely get a name if it were the time of year. I'll have to do a little research on that and get back to you guys in a future live stream. This is going to be our HRRR for what's coming over the next few days. So as this moves through time, you can see good showers and thunderstorms with it. Up in the rain chances for the Gulf Coast. A little bit of a low tries to spin up off the Hatteras Point, Newport area. I will watch all. Models are not showing a lot of instability with that next system, though. Which one? The one that we're talking about here? This one? Because there definitely seems like there's a lot of instability with it. Nothing right now. If you're talking about the one that I'm mentioning in the southeast, then no, I'm not talking about that. That's not going to be anything. I'm talking about this one that's going to come across the Rockies and form up and kind of be a transcontinental system. You can see right here, that's going to be a big event for sure. You go over to the 850 temp anomaly, and you can see that there's good temperature contrast. Where's our dew point temps? Let me see. Go to the dew points. Dew points are very, very sharp. Very sharp. You have low 60s, upper 50s, and then into 20s on the upstream portion of that system. So this is going to be, if this does hold true, and I think it's been tracking through our models for a little bit of time now, this one here, this is going to be, I think, our next big weather player. I don't know if they have it on SPC just yet. Yeah, no. Little too far out still for SPC. But things will change. No, I'm talking about the one you're talking about, the one that's going to be over the Central Plains. Well, I mean, I'd love to see what you're seeing in terms of instability, because I definitely see quite a bit with it. It's definitely looking like exactly what just happened not too long ago. Maybe surface level instability in terms of Cape might not be that great, but at this time of year, you don't need just Cape. Cape is just another little filler to help with intensifying things. Let's see. Oh no, yeah, look at that. You still get some good Cape with it. Still get some really good Cape with it. Other than that, though, I mean, not a whole lot. But yeah, no, there's some good surface buoyancy with it. What about do we have ML Cape on here? Do we have mixing layer Cape? No, it doesn't look like it. Let's see what the precipitable water looks like. Yeah, this next one coming up on this Friday, or this upcoming Friday, I should say, is going to be the one that we'll need to monitor, and we'll see exactly what pans out with that, but that could be another mess for the Great Plains, especially if we have good jet energy going over top. 250 millibars. Oh, yeah, definitely. This, I'm fairly certain, is the one that we were tracking even during the last live stream we did this past Wednesday. I was going to say Friday. See what the NAM is saying for it. If the NAM goes out that far, it looks like it'll come close. No, never mind. NAM has some pretty good rain coverage. But that's basically it. Honestly, guys, we could honestly sort of get ready to wrap up. I wish that there was more to say, but there's just not a whole lot out there just yet. We're looking at December 1st being when we see cyclogenesis. The low is going to cut off and move through California, go through the desert southwest. And then right when you get over the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle, that's when we're going to see it reemerge and really deepen down. Although it doesn't seem like it makes it very far after that. It splits in half, and I guess it loses a lot of its subtropical jet support and tries to jump ship and go to the polar front jet, but doesn't really make it. What happens with its vorticity? That's interesting to see that it just gets reabsorbed into the pattern as this next system deepens down. That's why. So, short-lived severe event. I'll be putting out a video of me playing Sing, Sing, Sing on my bass since I promised last stream. Very good, Ethan. I'll look out for that, definitely. And I apologize, guys, if I seem like I'm a little low energy tonight. It's been a very, very busy last couple of days, driving and moving and moving and talking and doing all that. But this is what our rainfall could look like over the next few days. This is HRRR. Oh, I lost my other model. I had another model pulled up that I wanted to show you guys. Let's go to NSSL, go to the southeast. And I think there were some decent winds with it as it comes through. Yeah, a little bit of something. A little bit of something tries to get going. So it could be somewhat breezy around here. Nothing too significant. Nothing too crazy. Alfalfa, do you think it'll be a potential tornado threat? I think so. Nothing extreme, nothing outlandish or anything that we really need to put a tremendous amount of energy into forecasting, but especially since we can see it coming and we'll have to see how it initializes. Let's see, do we have like a Central Plains? U.S. Corn Belt, Southwest, Mid-Atlantic, West Coast, East, Northeast, Northwest, Midwest, Dakotas. I guess we'll have to use the Texas and South Central. This is going to be our best bet. So let's see. What do we have to work with here? Since we're not too close in time, we can't use any of our high-resolution models just yet. We'll look at the Cape one last time to show us our surface level buoyancy. You can see right there, that's when this system is going to start moving through. And you can see we get pretty decent buoyancy in the low levels, 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram over central parts of Texas. Getting up into Oklahoma, we stayed about the 500 mark, 750 down over interior parts of Texas. That's close to, I think, the Austin area, if I'm not mistaken. And then down here is going to be the San Antonio area. Moving further to the east, Houston down in this neck of the woods generally. So good surface instability, and I'm pretty sure if we go up to 500 millibars, you'll see quite a bit of vertical velocity. Yeah, right there. Really good vertical velocity, so good shortwave activity, a good vorticity couplet at 500 to help really stir things up in the upper levels. I really wish we had something other than just surface cape. Because in this case, you don't always want to just look at surface cape when determining what's happening out there. And then let's go over here real quick and see what that looks like, because you actually get intensity. Yeah, see, so it looks like it could possibly, right where that strongest cape is during the day on Friday into, actually, no, that's going to be a fast event according to the model. It'll just be a Friday event. Maybe late Thursday night. This is going to be 7 p.m. Thursday. Closing in on 10 p.m. Thursday. So, unfortunately, actually, yeah, this is probably going to be another overnight thing for Texas, maybe Oklahoma, Arkansas, and then trying to push into Louisiana as the sun comes up. Good evening, my fellow Americans and my fellow Floridians. Good evening, Naz. Brian, welcome in. Bernard, welcome in. Night's been pretty good, pretty solid. I wanted to definitely come on here and talk to you guys for a little bit, the few of us that are in here. For those of you who are just joining, we're going to definitely be really changing the battle rhythm with this channel, and I know it's going to really stunt our growth, and I'm willing to take that sacrifice because I would think that putting out a quality video or two every other day versus putting out video after video after video and then having the same amount of people watch it, 200-300 people, as opposed to the couple thousand we used to see, like, I forget who it was already, forgive me. Like how Close Are We was saying at the beginning, how so many people have kind of tuned out. And, you know, I'll admit, and I don't usually do this, and I know it's probably not the right thing to do on YouTube, but it was just a little discouraging that I put out the Thanksgiving video and wished as many people as I could far and wide, and I actually got a bunch of unsubscribers from it. Like, dang. Tell me how you really feel. So that was that. I think that was kind of one of the last nails in the coffin to where it's like, okay, yeah, people just wanted their tropical update, and that's about it. Now the big pages out there are going to dominate the winter time because they've been doing it for much longer, whereas I'm still, I guess you can say, what some people would consider in terms of YouTube an armchair amateur. Like, I'm really not a big channel, so a lot of people are going to tune me out over the likes of other big name channels who have been doing it for a while. But there's a few, I've noticed that there's a few others who have been driven, I wouldn't say driven off of YouTube, but they've also been driven way down. Like, they're barely putting out content. So a lot of us are going to be in the trenches, kind of just thinking up random things to do at this point in time. I mean, we're down to only 16 viewers right now, and I think the 16 viewers are the people who are usually always here. There's no one else joining us tonight. Now down to 15 viewers. So, yeah, you know, we're definitely taking a hit, and this was as anticipated. So I guess we'll already start to roll into what the new upcoming, I guess, winter and spring schedule is going to look like. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we will be doing our usually traditional live streams. We'll go right into post-tropics topics, as you probably saw in the thumbnail, and every segment is going to be tailored to something different. There will be a topic that we will kind of go over just for fun, And it could be something related to weather. It could be something with how historic weather events have changed the way we study the weather. It could be a commentary on an old hurricane season, a tornado outbreak, etc. You name it. There could be educational segments built into it. I'm going to have fun with it, because if I'm being totally honest with you guys, at this point, I don't think anyone's really going to watch this channel anyways. I could probably put out as dumb or dorky of a video as possible, and no one's going to bat an eye because no one's paying attention to the weather right now. And I know tonight is not entirely a good example of, the traffic that this channel is going to get, because I know a lot of people are probably still out traveling or enjoying their Thanksgiving. So obviously we're going to have a pretty dead evening for us here in the live stream. I've also been brainstorming if we can continue to hopefully grow as time goes on. If we can continue to grow, I have really, really big plans that I was brainstorming during my time away. One of which being I would love to start trying to get interactive storm chases going, because I've seen a few channels who will do the live stream storm chases, but they don't actually talk to the viewers. They don't actually interact with the viewers. And I'm definitely going to start putting out more content in terms of what storm chasing really is like, how to prepare, what really goes into a storm chase, all the different variables, as opposed to a lot of people probably think you just drive out and there's your storm and that's it. There's a lot more involved, and I know I'm probably missing a whole lot of the finite details, but in layman's terms, I want to take you guys along for future storm chases, whether it be during tropical season or during severe weather season. I want to do actual videos, and I also want to do simultaneously during the trips, I want to do live streams to talk and communicate with you guys and hold that casual conversation before, possibly during, and definitely after the storm chase has concluded, whether it be a major hurricane landfall or a severe weather event in Florida or somewhere else. But granted, the biggest caveat is going to be if this channel can continue to grow, because if it doesn't continue to grow, obviously I'm be dipping very, very heavily into my own personal finances, and I don't think I can do that right now, to tell you the truth. So if for you guys watching this channel right now, and for those of you watching afterward, it sounds cliche, I do need you all to share this channel. Like, I do need you to. I need you to, because if I want all of these things to become a reality and provide you with the level of content that I'm aspiring and that I'm dreaming and thinking of and brainstorming day to day to day, then we need to get this channel out there, because if it just kind of stays down in the dumps, it's going to fall off very quickly. And it's not because I want to, it's just because I'm incapable of continuing. Because truthfully, I don't want to stay an armchair talking head video. I want to elevate this channel in so many different ways. I want to go full green screen. I want to do standing videos. I want to do actual educational, almost classroom setting videos. I want to upgrade all of my equipment in my vehicle and take you guys along for storm chases, provide in the trenches coverage when there's bad weather hitting wherever it may be in Florida, or if I can make it somewhere else in the southeast, So we'll see. There's definitely a tremendous amount of stuff that I'm thinking about on a day-to-day, and it is very demoralizing that I'm seeing the channel falling apart just as I'm starting to think about all of these different topics, because that tells me that there's very far and few people who are going to see it. And naturally, it's going to discourage people. It's going to discourage me for sure. It already has. But, I'm still going to stay the course, and we're going to do what we can as we go through time, especially while Mother Nature has been very, very boring. Because it really has. There's not much out there. There's not. The Caribbean is quiet. Gulf of Mexico is quiet. There's a lot of things that are just quiet right now. Very quiet. That is a nice looking thumbnail, by the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, I put a little extra time and effort into editing and splicing it all together to make it kind of look like, different topics as opposed to just the tropics. SPC doesn't have anything, but CIPS does. Yeah, SPC won't usually highlight anything until it's maybe like 72, maybe at the very longest, 96 hours away, but not going over the next 7 days. Well, I should say 6 days, technically, since it's Saturday. It doesn't even feel like Saturday, honestly. It already feels like a weekday. It's very strange. But yeah, For those of you watching, sadly, I have no people I can share it to, as many of my close partners are not interested in weather. That's fair. That's definitely fair. Anybody and anyone who's watching this, if you do just a random share on Instagram, on Facebook, etc., just to try to get more people involved, because there's a ton, and I'm not even joking when I say there's a ton of different imaginative things that I'm brainstorming to try to elevate this channel and make it something that no one's ever seen before. I'm definitely wanting to do that, and the sad thing is I'm just not in a position to fund it by myself, and wait for it to take off. That's a investment that I can't make right now. So until we get people back on board, back on the YouTube train, it's going to be kind of a wait and see sort of thing. Ethan, thank you very much for the $2 donation. I really appreciate that, genuinely. It's those little gestures right there that are going to help us continue to slowly get off the ground. Very soon, Lord willing, I will try to make the plunge and move to a different setup. Like, I'm going to have the computers, obviously, but that back wall right there that's completely blank, I would like to put a green screen on it and actually do stand-up videos, make it a lot more of a professional format. For our live streams, we're still going to continue to do it in this manner because we're just talking, we're just doing a video update. It's a very casual form, but when it comes to my actual updates, especially when there's bad weather, that wall behind me is going to have a green screen, and I'm going to have a standing camera set up with my lights, and I want to actually do a full presentation as you would typically see on the Weather Channel or a major news network. Because I know some people do it, and they'll do it either with a TV screen and they'll have somebody else in the background, or they'll be like clicking at the same time they're talking with it. I want to do it in a more official platform to where I don't have to click and do this and do that. Like, I'm just doing this and talking just like I would on an actual news station, which is what I want to do in the future. So don't beat yourself up on things you can't control. You are doing all the right things. Brainstorm, being creative, sticking to science, and passion for stay positive. Oh, yeah, I agree, Jacob. I definitely agree. That's why I think, I'm not going to just stop. I'm just going to tone it down a little bit because I know not very many people are watching. So as lazy as it might sound, it would just seem silly for me to continue at the tempo that I was when there were hurricanes and other big things to talk about when, it's going to produce the same results. I'd rather take my time, recoup between video segments, and provide you guys with a unique video after a unique video, as opposed to just doing the same thing again and again and again, especially this time of year. Front coming through, El Nino. Front coming through, El Nino. Snow, El Nino. Front coming through, El Nino. It doesn't make any sense to me logistically to do that. And I don't want to do that to you guys because that's going to get very, very boring after a while. Hey, David, sorry for the MIA. Been dealing with health and family losses, but hope everyone is well. Oh, shoot, dude. I really hope you're doing well for that matter, especially right around this time of the holiday season, moving right through Thanksgiving. I hope everything's well. Perhaps we can chat offline about things and, kind of go from there. Stick with it, Naz. If you build it, they will come. I agree. I definitely agree, Mick and Marley, for sure. Late to the party. Don't go on a news station. Be like Ryan Hall. See, I've been thinking about that. How close are we? But once again, that would be if this channel gets going. Do I think we have the capability to get there? Oh, 110%. I really don't want to, I don't even know how to say this without sounding, because I know somebody out there is going to get triggered and think some type of way, but I don't think that this is a boring channel. I don't think that this is a boring community. I don't think that, the average person is immediately going to turn the other way because, this dude is not fun to watch. This dude doesn't sound like he knows what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. I know a lot of us have fun in the live streams when there's a lot of us in here, especially during our scheduled live streams. I know for dang certain that with the creative mind that I have and the few folks I work with and behind the scenes to provide stuff, I know we could bring out some really good stuff, really good, not only entertaining, but educational commentary. Like, for example, I've been really, really heavily not contemplating, but kind of storyboarding how I want to do my hurricane preparedness video for next year. And I actually want to do segments where I'm driving and I'm going to different locations. Like, I want to film hurricane evacuation routes. I want to shoot hurricane evacuation signs, explain that. I want to take you guys through a virtual trip in the grocery store, in your Home Depot, in any hardware store for that matter, to show you guys what it is you want to get, what is more for glamour. If you want to be bougie, I guess you can pick this up, but these are the basic necessities that you really need for when a bad situation goes down in your area. And that's just one example of what I want to do, is take the camera along and shoot it live and say, these are this and that, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. If you cover the snow up north, you can probably pull in more people for winter who are more concerned with snow. I did try to convince some Ohio people watch. Oh yeah, Brooke, we'll definitely slowly tread into that as well. It's just right now, outside of what's coming right about here, right there, and that's not until December 4th, we're not going to be getting we're not going to really have much to talk about right now. This little bad boy right here on the 1st of December could be a little something that's going to transition across the plains into the mid-Atlantic. And then out here over the northwest, slowly but surely we'll start seeing a little bit more increased amplitude with these systems as we get into the bona fide winter season. This kind of usually always happens as well. When you go from hurricane season into the dead of fall, like they call it, the dead of fall, it tones down. You kind of have that lull, that quiet before whatever you want to call it. And then things get a little more intense as you get through December, January, and then February, March is when things are kind of off the wall with tornadoes. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. This is kind of like, we're biding our time. I think since you started during tropics and you based your channel kind of around that people left because they aren't seeing that anymore since the season is over. That's why I think you should. Oh, no, I absolutely agree. Now, I will admit, I didn't think we were going to drop off this bad. When I was doing my videos and seeing consistently 6,000 to 10,000 views, I knew in the back of my mind, like as soon as I step out of the tropics, we're going to go way down. But I didn't think we were going to go down to the point where I started my channel with 10 subscribers and we were still getting 100 to 200, maybe 400 views. Now we're almost to 6,000 subscribers and we're back down to the same number of views that we would get when I first started. That's kind of what's bumming me out. Like, woo, I didn't think so many people were just going to stop watching and not care. But I guess I should have seen that coming. I can forecast the weather. I can't entirely forecast the people. Only God can do that. Like Ryan Hall gets 1 million views. We just got to get you in the main feed. Yeah, no, I agree, Chantel. Yeah, that's the big thing. And right now, because my videos aren't being watched, they're not being recommended. That's YouTube's big algorithmic trap right there. Because we have such low traffic to the channel, overarching Big Brother YouTube is like squash. No one wants to see this guy, so we're not going to put him out there. Hype snow for Christmas. Oh, yeah, definitely. Did videos more around the USA as well. You could have built 2 separate audiences at once. Well, yeah, there really wasn't too many things. I mean, there were a couple of instances, but from what I can remember, there really wasn't too much happening over the United States. It's the lack of weather. It's not you. Yeah, I agree. Once we start getting some named winter storms, I know people will start tuning back in because no one really watches the news. Once they have the named winter storms or the superstorms and the snow, the blizzards and all that, that's when we'll start to slowly make a little bit of a redemption. But yeah, anyways, before we wrap up, like I said, I just wanted to do a very brief update. We have 2 different areas to watch, technically 3 if you really want to go downrange like we have here, closing in on the 4th and the 5th, right there, that huge nor'easter system that could probably bring us a little bit of activity down in Florida, depending on if that front makes it all the way through. But it's this first one right there on the 1st of December, and then going down the pipe, there's the 3rd into the 4th, and then the 5th is when that next big system's going to come down. And it's only November 25th, so we still have a while to go before this starts popping off, and we can continue to bide our time a little bit. But I'm making a huge list, and I know it's funny. I was watching the Santa Claus earlier, and now obviously we're approaching Christmas. I'm making a list and checking it twice about what it is that I want to do for this channel. And the storm chases, the ride-along vlogs, etc., those are all big things I want to do for you. And updating my weather center so I can get you guys even more proficient video coverage that a lot of other channels don't do. Because, 90% of the channels out there, they all do these sitting down at their desk and looking at the computer and sharing their screen. I want to take it to the next level and make it a much more professional format, and I think that'll be very beneficial not only for me because it'd be good practice, standing up on camera, getting up on camera, and it would also be good for you guys because it'll be a lot more of a professional video as opposed to me clicking, pointing. I can demonstrate it and explain it a little bit better. So that's just one of many things to try to get this channel up and coming, especially for next year when it matters the most. And then there's also all these other little incidental things, hurricane, tornado preparedness, fire prevention videos. I know fires were brought up in another previous live stream. Brian, you make an absolute big point. Everyone's been telling me I need to make a Twitter/an X account. I haven't done that yet, so I need to do that. And before we wrap up, if you aren't following me already, definitely follow me on my TikTok and my weather Instagram because I'm going to start putting a little bit more oomph in that to backfill what's happening here on the YouTubes. Since YouTube's dying out, I'm going to start putting out a couple more smaller segments on things like TikTok and YouTube and maybe even taking advantage of YouTube Shorts a little bit more. So yeah. That's probably going to be the battle rhythm, though, guys. So if you don't see main videos from me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's because we're going to supplement that with a live stream at the usual 8 p.m. time frame, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays is when we will do our actual segments and our hard videos, no live streams. That's kind of how we're going to tone it down a little bit to pump the brakes and not only technically enjoy this hiatus from bad weather to where I don't need to be grinding out video after video, but at the same time understanding that I don't have as big of a platform to play around with anymore. And like How Close Are We essentially said, we're starting from scratch trying to build another crowd. So we're starting from essentially square one in a totally different season with a whole new populace. So I'm going to start kind of the same way I did initially back in the day, just taking my time. But yeah, guys, I'm going to work on that X account. If you don't follow my TikTok or Instagram, Wxcenter_Nazario, the same thing everywhere. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of chat with you guys and once again wish you a belated Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a wonderful time out there. The weather was very cooperative. It looks like our rain chances are going to be creeping back up tomorrow and Monday, so just in time for the weekend to come to a close, which is nice. I'd rather it that way than if we were out and about trying to get some things done. So yeah. Ethan, thank you for the $2 donation. I do genuinely appreciate it, and I will definitely check out the pictures here momentarily, because truthfully, guys, and I have so many messages on my phone from over the last 48 hours. On Thursday and into most of Friday, I was in an area where I really didn't have service, so I haven't had a chance to pull things up. I very briefly had moments to where I could put things up on social media. And today I was running around, walking around, and I wasn't settled in fully until about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And at that point, it was just unpacking and kind of getting ready for church and other things tomorrow and to get back to reality once again. Dark Earth, keep at it. It's a learning curve. Oh, yeah, I've done the social media thing plenty of times before, never on YouTube. It was something I've always wanted to explore, and I think the main learning curve here is probably going to be understanding that with weather comes multiple demographics. And for example, like How Close Are We was mentioning with the tropics, a lot of folks either on the coast or under the immediate threat of hurricane impact are going to watch. The rest of the lower 48, or we should say the remaining lower 45, if you will, because I know Florida, Louisiana, maybe Mississippi or Texas will watch, but that's about it. The remaining lower 45 are really not going to pay close attention. So now that the folks who were in the lower 5 and the Caribbean are done watching and they don't care anymore, we got to kind of flip it upside down and start talking to those people who are in the northern states, in the Pac Northwest, in the Northeast, near the Great Lakes, in Canada, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's going to be the learning curve, is making sure to focus more so on those areas, and that's where my work is going to be cut out for me, because I'm going to be tracking a huge AOR. It's not just the Atlantic anymore. Now it's the East Pac, Canada, the United States, and a continuation of whatever happens down there in the Caribbean for Bermuda and everybody else. So We'll see. We'll see what happens. Time will tell, but I absolutely agree, and I can't thank you enough for your generosity, by the way, Dark Earth, for the $5 donation. That's very sweet of you. Both you and Ethan, longtime supporters, and I love you guys for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We will make it, brother. Just got to make some adjustments and keep moving in the right way. I agree. You guys are awesome, honestly. Look at all this positive support. That's why I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to kind of slow the pace down a little bit and start, rebuilding that momentum. Unfortunately, we can't really, there's nothing out there to hype. We can't put Hurricane so-and-so or anything like that. That's why I think when we start getting the named winter storms, we might see a little bit of it come back. But then again, I'd be lying to you guys if I said I get really excited about winter storms, because first of all, I'm in the South. So any named winter storm isn't going to mean diddly squat to me. So, we'll just have to play around with it. Play with it a little bit. No pun intended. I absolutely love your channel. Not boring, but intelligent, interesting. It is nice how you recognize holidays. Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's for sure going to keep happening 100%. People like to follow weather extremes. Yeah, and that's kind of what I had a feeling was going to happen. In terms of all those other channels out there who were really focusing on any little tiny detail to hype, I think everybody across YouTube has finally caught on to that, and they're not watching any of us anymore. Because, people will hype a tiny blip just to try to keep gravitating viewers in, and it's not working. So, Kevin McGinn, thank you very much for that, though. Love your channel, not boring. I really appreciate that. It's those kind words that keep us all moving. Good night, Nazario. Very sorry I only joined. I just feel bad. I didn't realize you were going live an hour ago. Don't feel bad, Thomas. That's totally fine. This was an off-the-cuff live stream. I wasn't going to do anything today with as tired as I am. I was just going to kind of roll through the rest of the weekend and start fresh on Monday, but I figured because there were a couple things I wanted to at least put out into the open air, we would talk a little bit. So got a little something coming through us tomorrow and into Monday, and then December 1st, this Friday, and then shortly after that into the next following week is going to be another big system. And those are the things we're going to be tracking here. We do have a nice weather community, that's for sure. I know it's late, but I want to thank you and the people who joined the chat for being very supportive and helpful during hard time. Oh, of course, Brooke. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for precisely. But all right, guys, so that's kind of going to be the battle rhythm. It's going to be tough for me to maintain that battle rhythm because I'm so used to doing video after video after video, so I need to break that habit. But I think that's how we're going to roll. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to keep our 8 p.m. live streams up, but we're really not going to do main segments those days. And then Tuesday and Thursdays, when we don't have live streams, is when we're going to do the full-fledged official videos and go over everything. And Saturday, up in the air. We'll see what happens. Sunday, most definitely, will probably be a day off, and so on and so forth. So that's going to be the new rhythm. I definitely want to unleash. I definitely want to release my parody video, especially now that hurricane season's wrapping up. Maybe that'll be the first thing I work on is the parody video. Kind of not making fun of the hurricane season, but making fun of all the variety of reports that I saw out there and how not to report on hurricanes and tropical systems. So that's going to definitely be fun. I definitely want to get into hurricane and tornado preparedness videos. I definitely want to get into more educational videos, and I definitely want to do more brainstorming in terms of how to take you guys along for virtual storm chases and actually communicate to you guys while also doing vlog-style videos documenting the travel process behind the storm chasing and whatnot. Because I think that's an integral part that no one actually pays attention to. Is it's not a simple of and then you're there storm chasing. There's a lot that goes into it. Packing, planning, gas, shelter, escape routes, evacuation routes, bug out procedures, so many different things. And I think that'd be great to provide you guys with some insight on that while also going storm chasing for you all as well. And, come to think of it, we're not there yet. I kind of want to see what This is November 25th. I want to see what our models are thinking for next season, because we haven't had a chance to look at this yet. So there's April, May, June, July, August, September. Oh, no, August, that's it. Yeah, next hurricane season is going to be a fierce one. I already know it. My gut is telling me that. Next hurricane season is going to be big. I'm very curious to see what the CanSIPS model updates and looks like when we get into December. But you can already see that the CFS is looking very gnarly. The CFS is looking really gnarly. Way more activity out here. Way more. Look at that. Pushing right through the Caribbean, right through Florida, right up to the Carolinas, into the Gulf Coast. Way more activity. I mean, look at July even. Open MDR all the way through. June even. Open, very saturated MDR moving right through. Next hurricane season is going to be wild. So that's another reason why I guess we should kind of just take advantage of what's happening. Wow, Matthew F-150, keep it up. You got people backing you up 100%. Thank you very, very much for the $10 donation. Shoot, that's amazing. Very good, very good. Love the new name of the channel, though. Going to watch and support you whatever the season, wherever. Oh, yeah, no. Well, the channel name is staying the same. It's still going to be Wxcenter, but for the live streams, it's going to be post-tropics topics because we're not in the tropics season anymore. But I appreciate that anyways. I know where you're coming from. Miss Leah, thank you extremely for the $2. Ethan, thank you again for the $2. Thank you guys for that. Honestly, you know what? That revenue right there is probably going to fund that green screen setup, because I've seen online on Amazon that to get the stand and the actual green screen, it's only between $20 to $40. So I think those donations right there are going to go right back into this channel and get that green screen going. So as soon as we get off the live stream here, I'm going to take a look at that and see if I can get it ordered so that way we can get that going sooner than later. And then it gives me an opportunity to learn a little bit more editing behind the scenes, because I'm a one-man show here. I know I always mention we collectively because it's our community, you guys alongside me, but I'm a one-man show editing, doing the audio, doing the camera work, doing the revisions, doing the special effects, the sound effects, etc., setting everything up, the lighting. And that's why it can get a little troublesome sometimes when the YouTubes are down and out because, but whole other story in of itself. I really appreciate you guys donating. I do genuinely, actually. Like, I'm not even joking. I think the donations you guys just sent into this chat right now are going to be exactly what I put right back into the channel and start funding the transformation of the Wxcenter for our next couple of videos. I shouldn't even say next couple, for our videos going forward. So yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. It's 7:47, just shy of an hour once again. Thank you very, very much for joining tonight, taking some time out of your holiday Saturday for that matter, and sitting down and talking a little bit of the weather and talking battle rhythm and game-changing aspects for this channel as we go forward. So some revisions to come. We're going to slow it down a little bit. The content isn't going to be flying off the charts like before, but we will still continue Monday through Friday. There will be something on this channel to talk and kind of get together and whatnot. And Saturday up in the air, depending on what the weather's doing. And yeah, I'm going to brainstorm everything that I have in the works for you guys and bring it up in a live stream and then break it down step by step, because I know I'm forgetting a ton of different ideas. I'm not even joking when I say my gears are turning and I want to bring you every bit of weather content that I could possibly think of and get away from just doing these sitting at my desk video things. That's not going to revolutionize the channel. Everybody can do this. Anybody who's out there can sit down and talk into a mic and look at a camera and look at a computer, and that's why I want to step way outside of the box, way outside of this box right here, and create something revolutionary. Even if it's going to take a lot of time to get it off the ground, I don't care, because I'm invested alongside you guys. Kevin, wow, thank you very much. Yeah, they were actually just, I noticed that they were just celebrating how huge of a following they have for Thanksgiving. But then again, I also have to remind myself, they've been doing it for 5, 10, 12 years. We've only been doing it for 3 months, going on 4 months. So I think we're doing okay for ourselves. And that's a testament to what I think we can do here in the future, especially as we get ready for a next very, very rough hurricane season. But all right, guys, Please leave a comment if you have, honestly, if you guys have suggestions, things you'd want to see on this channel, please leave me a comment, drop me a line on Instagram. I'm an open book. If you guys have suggestions that you think would be great, let's brainstorm collectively and come up with some new things, because I definitely want to overhaul this channel. No more just talking into a camera and a microphone. I want to do big things. If we want to get to big places, we need to start taking big steps. And that's kind of what I'm thinking, for sure. I can't talk behind a microphone. I'm sure you could if you really wanted to. I'm sure you could. But yeah, guys, even if it takes forever to get this thing back up off the ground and cater to a new population, I'm okay with it. That's why I want to start taking giant leaps to stand out as we move forward in time. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, any suggestions, questions, or comments, leave them in the comments sections to this live stream or my most recent YouTube short and or the previous video that I set up, I think it was Thursday. Or just drop me a line on my TikTok or my Instagram, Wxcenter_Nazario, and we'll go from there. We'll all just kind of make it a brainstorming community at the same time to make sure we overhaul this as best as we can and get ready for when the weather hits the fan hard, because that's another thing too. I want to be ready for that, because I know it is. My gut never was really wrong when I was in the Air Force, and my gut has been singing for the last 2 to 3 weeks that next hurricane season and severe weather season in 2024 is going to be a fierce one. I know it. Mark my words. It's November 25th, 2023. It's 7:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark those words. Record this. Screen record it. Whatever you want to do. I just have a very strong, something in the background, my sixth sense is screaming at me that next year is going to be a doozy. Next year is going to be an interesting one. This year was kind of the intro to wet our taste buds to the abnormal sea temperatures, the weird fluctuations we had in our jet streams and our synoptic scale patterns. And, I feel like next year is going to be an interesting one, a very interesting one. Oh, dear God. Yeah, look at the latest sea surface temp anomalies even for June, July, and going into August. 2 to almost 3 degrees hotter. Yeah, next year is going to be wild. Next year is going to be a big one. And I think now is the time to take advantage of not having a whole lot of people on the channel, because now we can mess around and experiment with different things. We can experiment and see what works, what doesn't work, expedite the way we cover certain situations and whatnot, and just go from there. Trial and error. Now we can go and experiment and have fun with it. So lots to come. I'm going to write down in my notes exactly what I have in store for you guys, and we'll collectively talk about it and chat about it next time we congregate for a live stream. And yeah, we'll just continue to go from there. But I really hope you guys had a marvelous Thanksgiving. For those of us down here, I have a hair on my face, sorry. For those of us down here in the Southeast, marvelous last couple of days. We had a little bit of rain yesterday, but nothing too, turning things off or kind of deterring us from doing what it is we wanted to do. And today the weather was phenomenal out there, especially in St. Petersburg. For those of you who do follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I shared a quick little update out there. Wonderful. We'll talk to you all very soon. Thank you all for watching once again. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, and definitely take full advantage of Sunday before it's back to reality on Monday morning for a lot of us who have to go back to work, and I have a lot of schoolwork to catch up on too before the semester is over and done with. So best believe I'm going to try to relax as much as I can over the next 24 hours. So we'll talk to you guys very soon. We'll see you again on Monday unless something suddenly breaks way and we all have bad weather to talk about tomorrow. I highly doubt it, but yeah. Till next time, guys. Thank you very much. And again, thank you so much for the donations. I'm not kidding when I tell you that I'm going to use every single penny that you guys donated tonight to revamp this channel. I genuinely mean that, and I can't express to you how much that helps, because that's how we turn this channel into something marvelous. It's a quid pro quo. I keep working for you guys. You guys provide for the channel. I'm not even going to say for me, for the channel, and I'm going to turn it right back into providing to you guys. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So I can't thank you enough, especially for Thanksgiving. And we got to start prepping for Christmas, because Christmas is going to be here before you know. We're actually literally now, as a matter of fact, month till Christmas and then the new year. So lots to come, guys. Lots to come. Thank you very much, guys. We'll talk to you soon before I continue to say bye for another 20 minutes. We'll see you on Monday. This is Wxcenter Nazario, signing out.